Coming up next on Making Moves, JTA's longtime executive director announces his departure from the authority. He'll tell us why. The new Duval County Courthouse is nearly ready to open. Find out how JTA plans to help courthouse employees get to work, and why Skyway ridership has jumped considerably over the past several weeks. I'm Joyce Morgan Danford. Stay tuned for those stories and much more next on Making Moves. Welcome to Making Moves. I'm Joyce Morgan Danford. Thanks so much for joining us today. Our top story, JTA Executive Director and CEO Michael Blaylock announced that he is leaving the agency after 30 years of service, including the last 10 years as its leader. He made that announcement at a special board meeting late last month. JTA Board Chairman Ed Burr said the agency will do a national search to find a new director. Blaylock will stay on at the agency until that new person has been hired. But of course, he's not gone quite yet. He's been here with us for the past 4 years, right here on the Making Moves television set. And Michael, you know, a lot of people are asking, at this young age, why are you retiring?
Well, Joyce, in the famous words of Sam Cooke, long time coming, I know change gonna come.
Oh,
so now
goodness.
is the time, Joyce. No, Joyce, it's been just a tremendous honor having served in the public for 35 years, and the last 30 with the Transportation Authority, and of course the last 10 as the CEO. And so I think now more than ever is a great opportunity for the authority to kind of retool and get some new fresh legs in there. But as for me, I'm ready to move on to the next chapter.
You know, on a serious note, there are certainly a lot of challenges that face the agency. What are some of the biggest challenges that the new director will have?
Well, Joyce, in our world, certainty in terms of the future is so critically important. When you're talking about relocating businesses to Jacksonville, when you're talking about expanding the port and looking to expand and improve the Cecil Commerce Center in terms of business and economic activity for all of Northeast Florida, the word certainty comes to mind, and that certainty means that we have to have a solid transportation funding to continue to build the infrastructure that's needed, and not necessarily roads, but I mean the whole host of different transportation needs of our region. And so I think the certainty of the sustainability of how we keep the agency going and how do we respond to this economic growth that we are expecting for Northeast Florida over the next 35 years, I think it's going to be critically important.
But you know, even though you're leaving, I think in September?
Yes,
Even though you're leaving in September, there's certainly a lot of work to be done up until that time.
Yeah, I have my hands full. We are trying to complete and update our strategic plan, and that's going to come on the heels of the work that's being done by the Regional Study Commission, which is also a critical piece of work that's being done by all 7 counties working together to create a transportation vision for Northeast Florida. So that's got to get done. And then of course I've got to prepare the budget for next year, and that has to be submitted by June 1st. So and of course the organization itself in preparing for new leadership, I think that's going to be important too.
It really is. You know, there are a lot of things that you're going to be remembered for. And one of the things I will, of course, remember you for is this television show, Making Moves. You had the vision about making moves. You really wanted to make sure that you reached the public and you let the public know about transportation needs of the future. And a lot of people would say, so what now about making moves? What happens?
Well, I think it will continue because it brings a tremendous value to the community. I mean, just think about it. We actually produce this show in-house. Mm-hmm. So you're not spending a lot of money, but you're trying to communicate to the public. The public needs to know in terms of what we're doing, what we're thinking, in terms of long-term and short-term transportation needs. So I think it creates a great venue. I'm often stopped, as well as you are, in the streets and at different venues. People are really excited and just pleased to be able to get the kind of information that we're presenting.
And one more thing I have to ask you. So what is next for Michael Blaylock? Is there golf in your future?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I just want to slow the pace down. I mean, 10, 14-hour days over a period of time, I mean, it tends to wear on you. So I suspect, and I'm expecting, my wife and I are expecting our third grandchild.
Oh.
So, I mean, we've got our hands full. So I think we're going to have a little bit of R&R, and we'll continue to do some work, in particular mentoring young people. That's something that I really enjoy, and hopefully I get the time to do that now.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, and we'll be talking to you a little later. In other news now, it will be just a few short weeks until the new Duval County Courthouse is open and ready for business. Judicial leaders are working on many items, but one major concern is where the hundreds of courthouse employees will park. JTA has been working closely with courthouse officials to create a cost-effective solution. It's been years in the making, and now the new Duval County Courthouse is nearly ready for its unveiling. Hundreds of courthouse employees will move from the current location on Bay Street to the new facility that envelops a 3-block area in the western portion of downtown, bordering Broad and Adams Streets.
I've got a little over 300 employees, and upstairs, so you're talking in the courthouse over 400 and something employees. So there's a lot of people that need, places to park and how to get to work and how to get around the city.
To help solve this courthouse parking dilemma, JTA has offered a cost-effective and easy-to-use solution.
And we did come up with a plan that we think is going to work on a number of levels. First of all, the way it's designed, there will be far fewer cars that will actually be going downtown, which has been an aim that city leaders have had for a long time. Number two, is going to be extremely affordable for anybody who wishes to park there, with 2 locations from those who live either east or south of the city to be able to park at the Kings Avenue garage, and those on the west side, the north side, and down in the Orange Park area could park at the convention center area lots.
For just $35 a month, the new Downtown Park and Ride Star Card features 2 surface parking lots in nearby La Villa or indoor garage parking at the Kings Avenue facility on the South Bank. All 3 lots offer either Skyway or trolley transportation to the new courthouse area. From the Convention Center station, it's about a 3-minute ride down to Central Station. And then from Central Station, it's about a block walk down to the new courthouse. If you prefer the covered parking, the Kings Avenue garage is just perfect for you. It has 3 floors of available covered parking, along with a covered walkway between the garage and the train platform. Plus, your destination is just a quick 10-minute ride away. And then there's an added incentive. Many employers will be offering benefits like pre-tax payroll deductions to help employees pay for the Downtown Park and Ride Star Card.
That fee would be taken out of paychecks prior to taxes. So when you take a look at the amount of tax dollars that you're going to save by not being taxed on that $35, it really brings the cost down to closer to $28 net dollars a month for this program.
The new Downtown Park and Ride Star Cards are available at the JTA Administrative Office at 100 North Myrtle Avenue beginning in May. Now, when you realize that some people, Mr. Blaylock, are actually paying from $80 to $100 just to park a month, JTA's option sounds pretty good.
Well, and that's the idea, giving people options, and so by designing this new trolley system and then use of the Skyway, I think it's going to be a tremendous value for those persons that are working downtown. And not just working downtown, but both those venues allow them to travel to lunch and to run different errands while they're downtown. So I think it's a good value for both.
And it keeps some more of those cars from out of downtown.
Well, not only that, Joyce, because you know that we are terminating a lot of the buses into the Skyway system, and so that's saving us on our fuel. So, I mean, it just works both ways.
In other Star-related news, Star Card users now have the option to add cash value to their cards. The cash value option eliminates the need for riders to carry cash for their trips. Up to $80 of value can be carried on the Star Card at any one time. This now gives riders a full complement of payment options available to them. You can pay for your fare using the 1, 3, 7, or 31-day pass option, or by the new cash value option. And if you live or work at the beaches, we have some important news for you. You can now have access to one of the new Star Card ticket vending machines where you can purchase a new Star Card or even reload one that you already have. The TVM is located on the west side of the Royal Palms Drive. That's just 1/2 block from Atlantic Boulevard. Well, next on Making Moves, the Skyway sees a big jump in ridership. We'll tell you why more people are riding. And the FEC says it will begin passenger rail service in 2014. But is Jacksonville in their plans? Those stories in just 2 minutes.
When you've been around as long as we have, you learn to take some punches. You learn you're not always going to get it right. But the most important thing is to remember why you're here and to never quit trying. When they said we were building the bridge to nowhere, we didn't just throw up our hands and quit. No, we kept going. And when they told us not to build the new road to the beach, that there was nothing out there, we had the vision to see what it could be. You see, sometimes you have to go against the conventional wisdom and trust your gut. You have to believe in yourself and your co-workers that you're doing the right thing, even when people don't always share your vision. Sometimes, despite all your hard work, things don't work out like you planned. Well, we don't quit then either. We keep trying until we can make it work. Nobody has to tell us. We know people are counting on us to keep trying. There are people counting on us to build that bridge, to get them to work or school and return them home safely to their families. There are people counting on us to think about their needs, not just for today, but 10, 20, even 50 years from now. That is what we do. We are JTA.
You're watching JTA Making Moves, honored by the American Public Transportation Association with its 2011 AdWheel Award.
Welcome back to Making Moves. The JTA Board of Directors approved fare increases for paratransit riders beginning June 4th of this year. JTA will be switching from a zone-based fare structure to a flat rate system. To ease the burden on the paratransit community, the board agreed to implement the new flat rate fares over a 3-year period. The ADA fare will go to $2 starting June 4th. Then next April, the fare will bump up to $2.50 and then $3 in 2014. For transportation disadvantaged trips, the fare will go to $2.50 on June 4th, then $3 next April, and then $3.50 in April of 2014. Now, with all of this being said, Michael, the one thing we have to keep in mind is that JTA has not increased these paratransit fares in some 2 decades.
Yeah, that's been a very, very long time. Joyce, but the board has shown tremendous sensitivity to this issue, because when we originally offered the fare, it basically was going to be, go from $1.50 average to $3. But the board chose to phase this in over 3 years, beginning June 4th at $2 and then eventually the top rate of $3. But the other value that our customers will have for those people who can ride the regular fixed route system, the big bus, Joyce, they can use the reduced card program, which that particular program allows them to ride for a full month for $30. And so we do have a number of our ADA clients, paratransit clients, that can gravitate over to the regular buses as well as the community connector service that we have in the neighborhoods. So there is a real value there in terms of them having that kind of access. But now everybody on paratransit can't move to the big system, and we do understand that. But I think the board has shown a tremendous amount of sensitivity. They've heard the cries of the ADA community in terms of this fare increase. But that service that's provided is enormously expensive. And so we're trying to find the right balance in terms of shifting and giving people options on the regular system, as well as recognizing some of the impact that they will be experiencing with the rate increase.
Absolutely. Well, nothing gets a consumer's attention more than the word free. That certainly seems to be the case with the Skyway. Until a month ago, the Skyway cost 50 cents to ride. On an average day, anywhere between 1,800 and 2,200 trips were taken on the Skyway. But on February 1st, JTA opened the turnstiles and made the trains free for everyone. As a result, ridership has shot up dramatically. Here's a closer look at those numbers. Skyway ridership jumped 30% in February compared to the January totals and was up 42% over December.
It was good. It was on time. It was very smooth. There was no problems. I enjoyed it. Well, it's very useful and resourceful going, if you work on this side of the river, to go across and, you know, visit friends and eat lunch over there, and you don't have to walk, and you don't have to drive a car.
The free fares were implemented as part of the new fare box changeover for the agency's new Star Card. The free fares, though, are scheduled to end on April 30th. So I know a lot of people will be hopping on just to try to get that ride. But, you know, clearly with all of the events that have been going on downtown and the Skyway has been open for those events, there have been many people who have been riding for the first time.
Yeah, Joyce, this has actually created quite an opportunity for us. Recognizing the fact that we would like to make the business case. My hope is to make a business case to the board rather than to invest $1.2 million to equip all of the Skyway stations with the new Star Card technology. I think that the Skyway represents a one system treatment. I mean, when you think about it, we are terminating the buses into the stations, and that's saving us a lot of fuel in terms of having to navigate through all of downtown. So our plan is to terminate as many buses as possible into the Skyway. The Skyway becomes one system. The Skyway in conjunction with the trolley system, in conjunction with the fixed route system, all one system. So I think that we will be making that business case because, I mean, we collect, in terms of cash fares, we collect less than $200,000 a year through the turnstiles. And the public has responded so well to the use of the Star Cards. I mean, it's been phenomenal in terms of the people that are using that technology. So I think it opens up yet another great opportunity to make a good business case to keep the Skyway operating as it is right now.
Florida East Coast Industries is planning a $1 billion project to develop a 3-hour Miami to Orlando passenger train service by 2014. They are calling that service All Aboard Florida. Jacksonville and Tampa are also considered as potential expansion points. The move would bring about a restoration of passenger service on the FEC Railroad for the first time since 1968.
Henry Flagler built the Florida East Coast Railroad more than a century ago. It's been more than 40 years since any passenger trains have used the FEC line. But that is about to change.
Well, what they're looking at right now is running trains daily from Orlando to Miami with stops in West Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale. They're looking at potentially trains every hour. So it's almost like an express service connecting Orlando to Miami.
Locally, the FEC Railroad runs adjacent to Phillips Highway, south from Jacksonville to St. Augustine and parts beyond. The FECI plan calls for trains to average between 100 and 125 miles per hour, with speeds generally faster in the rural areas. The new All Aboard Florida service will largely utilize existing tracks. Despite this new announcement from FECI, Amtrak is still moving forward with its plan to run passenger service on the FEC between Jacksonville and Miami. FEC officials tell JTA their plans will not preclude Amtrak from pursuing that service.
This actually would be good for the Amtrak Jacksonville to Miami service. It will have no negative impact. Amtrak and FEC are still working to make that happen. With the investments that would be made on the track for the Orlando to Miami portion, that helps to reduce the cost actually for the Amtrak service from Jacksonville to Miami. So it's really a win-win for everyone.
In Jacksonville, Bill Milnes, JTA, Making Moves.
Well, still to come on Making Moves, JTA brings home the gold at Florida's bus rodeo competition. Details when we come back.
We live in a global community where information can be delivered instantly. But having access to information and getting accurate information don't necessarily go hand in hand. That's where we come in. We are Making Moves, the First Coast's premier source for transportation news. At Making Moves, we strive to deliver timely, reliable, and pertinent information about the transportation stories that affect our community. From transit to roads, we've got it covered. Making Moves, now on Facebook.
Each year, the top drivers and mechanics from all 11 of Florida's public transit agencies gather for a competition to see who's really the best of the best. The event is called the Mega Rodeo, and this year was held in Orlando, home of the perennial champion Lynx. Well, the competition was challenging again this year, but in the end, it was the JTA team who unseated Lynx and came away with the 2012 Grand Champion prize. Now, driver Ramon Farfan won 2 individual events and finished second overall. And then the maintenance team of Dallas Fisher, Joe Bakke, and George McGarry showed their expertise and knowledge by winning the Breakboard Challenge while finishing third overall. This combined scores for both the driving and the mechanics challenges gave the Grand Champion trophy to Jacksonville for the very first time. The Grand Champions are now eligible to compete in the international competition, which will be held in Long Beach, California this May. Now, was that exciting? That was exciting. As you probably know, the JTA provides game day shuttle service to Everbank Field for every Jaguars home game. But JTA employees are also fans, and lots of employees who aren't working the game make sure they're at the stadium to cheer the Jaguars on to victory. For the 3rd consecutive year, Jaguars mascot Jackson DeVille and members of the Roar joined with JTA to help kick off the ticket sales campaign.
It's great to get out in the community and show giving back. We got Jackson, the cheerleaders, the Roar here. Some players are supposed to be coming, so it's exciting to get everybody together, get them excited for this season, and just to give them the information, because a lot of people don't know about the programs that we do with other companies. So it's a great opportunity for both the Jaguars and the companies that we go out to. So.
Besides a fun day with food and Jaguars highlights playing on the big screen, the JTA actually offers employees a payroll deduction option to pay for Jaguars season tickets in an effort to help more employees get to the games. And Michael, the JTA has always been a great partner with the Jaguars, and I just really like this idea of just being able to buy your tickets through payroll deduction. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been great. I mean, the employees really take advantage of that, and that's been a real good program for them. Makes it a lot easier for them. But the other part of that partnership is providing the shuttle service to the Jaguar fans, and that has been a tremendous service, Joyce. I mean, you literally are being dropped off at the very doorstep of Everbank Stadium, and that's you don't have that as you travel around the country. You attend a lot of these games. You don't have that kind of access. So our patrons are being afforded the opportunity to come downtown and set up early with the tailgate parties, as well as the suburban lots, and that is a tremendous, convenient venue for our fans to enjoy. So we're looking forward to providing that service this year.
Certainly a lot of innovation in what you're doing.
Yeah, and we're probably one of the few in terms of the country that have such a design as we have in terms of being able to literally allow you to step right at the doorstep of our stadium. So it's a great design. I'm really proud of that.
Absolutely. Time now for some final thoughts with Michael Blaylock, and I just have to say, congratulations to your team, Grand Champions.
Well, I mean, that's great, and it's a great achievement. I mean,
really
because
is.
you're talking about people, it takes a lot of skill to participate in those rodeo events. I mean, you're navigating through a course of obstacles and all kinds of turns and twists and so forth with great skill. And the mechanics having the ability to determine exactly what's wrong with the bus, what type of defects. So it takes a great amount of skills. And the first time that we've ever won this honor, so it's a great feeling, in particular being able to take it away from Lynx in Orlando. So it's a great feeling.
Okay, any other final thoughts that you
have?
have?
I think that one of the things that I've been asked since I have announced of my retirement is, what have you learned over the last 30 years? And I'm going to be sharing some of those thoughts as we continue the series until that great departure day of September. But some of the things that I have learned is that I think that the community really needs to appreciate the value that they have in their ability to get around Jacksonville. I think because of the long-term vision of my predecessors, the commitment of the political will that we've had throughout the history of Jacksonville, our people saw, our visionaries saw the need to bring all of Jacksonville together because of the great divide of the St. John River. And us being able to bring all that landmass together through the series of bridge crossings, I think has brought a tremendous viability to our community. And so I think going forward, I think it's, as I said earlier, having certainty in terms of what is the vision of Jacksonville going forward, what is the vision of Northeast Florida, and how are we going to be able to support the expansion of Jacksport, and how are we going to be able to support the development activities at Cecil, and how we're going to be able to develop all of the different planned economic activities throughout Northeast Florida. And particularly now we have a great discussion going on now in terms of downtown Jacksonville revitalization. And so what type of infrastructure and support that we're going to be able to provide to make that happen. We do not want as a community to end up like some of our sister cities that have just put all their eggs in one basket. They've used highways and expressways as their answer to dealing with their growth and congestion. And so you have a unique model here in Jacksonville. The JTA is one of a few models in the country that looks at transportation from all directions. So it's not just the road building or bridge building component, but the public transportation part. And looking at the future of commuter rail and how that fits into the layout of the land. If we're going to be competitive economically for the port, then giving people options and other modes of travel is going to be critically important in terms of having access to our road network. So, you know, as they say, you don't miss your water till your well run dry.
That's right.
And I definitely don't want Northeast Florida or Jacksonville well to run dry. And just think about it. Noah did not wait until it started to rain and flood before they started building the ark.
That's right.
And so one of the advantages we have as a community is that we've had the determination to try to stay ahead of the game. And today we have a very, very extraordinary transportation network that we can get around fairly well in this community. And I think going forward, we're going to have to keep that vision ahead of us.
And that wraps up this edition of Making Moves. We hope you'll be joining us again real soon. And Mr. Blaylock, you will be joining us again real soon, right?
I'll be right here.
Oh, absolutely. And if you missed any part of the show or just want to watch it again, complete episodes of Making Moves are always available online at jtafla.com. And of course, make sure to stay in touch with us on Facebook. For the entire Making Moves team, I'm Joyce Morgan Danford. We'll see you the next time we are making moves.